Earthlings, and welcome to your weekly dose of newsy infotainment. It's Let's Be Treasonable, coming to you from the luxurious Titans in Los Angeles, with your cognitive dissidents on the panel this week. As always, the black voice of reason, Mr. Tymon Shipp.
Power to the people. We did not have Trump talking to any brothers out there in the G20, so hopefully you'll meet some eventually.
Here today, Ghana tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. I don't know why you guys let me talk. Also joining us, always a pleasure to have him. He's pale. He's from St. Louis. He is a good friend, Mr. Jim Coughlin.
Thank you. Boy, I wish I was the black voice of reason. I guess that position's already taken.
Well, you don't really have the pigment.
Well, you do live across it. We did grow up across from each other.
That's right. A stone's throw.
A stone's throw.
East St. Louis and St. Louis in the Hizzow.
Yeah. Don't do that.
That was Tymon. That wasn't. I would never talk that way.
Don't do that. That was good, Dave. That was right on.
Thank you very much. And also joining us from right here in Southern California, from L.A. Via Nicaragua. Is halfway, sort of.
My mother's from Nicaragua.
Genetically.
I'm from L.A., from the Valley, here via the 405.
There we go.
So, actually, really, it's the 118 to the 5 to the 170 to the 101. I think that's how I got here. I don't know, but there were like 4.
That's a good number of freeways for a Saturday morning.
I know, and there was no traffic.
Well, awesome.
It was great.
Bravo.
But I
it's like a Jewish holiday.
Also wish I could be the black voice of reason.
And Go ahead, throw your slang out there. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, thing is, I have ovaries, so reason's out the window. Wah wah. I just make the misogynistic jokes. That way you guys don't get to.
I appreciate that.
We're thinking them, you're saying them.
Wow. But you while not the black voice of reason, you are Cat Alvarado. So thank you for coming in.
Did we not say my name before?
We didn't.
Oh,
no,
well, there you go. I'm Cat Alvarado.
We just went straight to what you're not. But you are here, and it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I am Dr. David Robinson. I am the host of sorts of all this. And we are also very fortunate to have joining us via the magic of pre-recorded sound, Mr. Will Durst from San Francisco via Wisconsin. How you doing, Will?
Hey, guys. Will Durst here with a few choice words about the many tools that Donald J. Trump has at his disposal. Both houses of Congress, the support of rural America, friends in high places, his family, a supermodel, Twitter, Fox News, the Russian Federation, a signature sent, and executive orders. Along with executive determinations, memorandums, proclamations, suggestions, insinuations, innuendos, and doodles. An executive order is a presidential shortcut to impose regulations or reinforce policy with the special attraction of bypassing Congress. And face it, any day without talking to Mitch McConnell has to be considered a good day. During the presidential campaign, Donald Trump ridiculed Barack Hussein Obama for an unhealthy dependence on executive orders, accusing the 44th president of being too lazy to negotiate. Because during elections, and only during elections, negotiate is not a dirty word. Knowing that, you'd think he'd be reluctant to utilize executive orders himself. And once again, you'd be wrong. As wrong as Siberian bike messengers. Like Chipotle mayonnaise in a can. Three-tailed monkeys, glass condoms, bacon-wrapped hot dogs at the opera. In his first 150 days, Trump has issued 37 executives, putting him on pace for 92 a year, the most since Harry Truman. And that may be the last time you hear Trump mentioned in the same sentence as Truman. Ever. Executive orders run the range from enduring testaments, like the Emancipation Proclamation, to lasting markers of national shame, as in the Japanese internment order. But all are subject to the ping-pong effect, where one president enacts it and the next rescinds it, which means that no matter what damage the current president does, chances are it will overturn the most egregious of them which is a lot. That is, assuming there is a next president. Fingers crossed. 4, let's be treasonable.
Thank you very much, Will, and some good points there. I do take issue with one thing. Jim, I think you might be able to back me up on this since you actually have family in Missouri. I just lived there for 8-9 years. But I think it in Missouri, at least, it would be possible to hear Donald Trump mentioned in the same sentence as Harry Truman, particularly if that sentence is, Donald Trump, he's no Harry S. Truman.
There you go. Yeah, that's, boy, is he going to have a presidential library? And I know there's been already a lot of jokes about that, but I just think of...
it'll be stacks of papers.
It will be books with no line.
Brothel.
The presidential
That would actually
brothel.
be constructive,
Like a
though.
library of women. Like the worst possible thing. That would be Trump's legacy.
Binders of women.
The Mitt Romney section.
Yeah.
It's funny because so many people throughout I guess, what is it? It's American Crisis Day 163. So in the past 163 days of Trump's presidency, I think a lot of people, more on the right have sort of been, he's going to be presidential. He's going to do it. He's going to grow into the position. He's going to, and my whole take on that personally, familiar you are with the stories of the Roman Emperor Caligula.
Right.
But one of the tales of Caligula is that what he did is he invited all the top of Rome and their wives to the palace, ostensibly for a banquet. And this is when he had already, pretty much bled the coffers dry. Like Rome was on the verge of bankruptcy because, among other things that Caligula did, besides declaring his horse a god and having statues of his horse put up all over Rome and the empire, and declaring war on Poseidon, so firing things into the sea, much like the Kim Jong-un of his day. But he had pretty much bankrupted the Roman Empire, so he invites all the top senators and their wives to the palace for like a big blowout banquet, kind of an everything must go decadence, wonder, awesomeness. And of course they all show up because he throws the best parties. And once everyone is in there, he pretty much locks the door and opens a whorehouse to the people of Rome, where they can bang their favorite senators and senators' wives, for a small fee. And I kept hoping that that's what Trump was doing, stacking the cabinet with billionaires and unqualified people. I was kind of hoping,
That's insane. Is that real? That's real history.
That
is a thing that happened. It's in a book. There are multiple historians who are like, he.
Reliable sources, even CNN would report on it.
Dang, that's insane.
But and though he hasn't done that yet, I like to consider myself an optimist.
Wow.
Well, I don't know how historically. I mean, he's somebody that a lot of things are said about, right? But
he's the Bill Bradsky of his time. It's there are many legends.
Yes, and they made the movie Caligula. I think it was it Roberto De Laurentiis? But anyway, Tinto Brass directed it. He directed this movie with Helen Mirren and who plays
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell.
Executive produced by Bob Guccione.
Yes,
so
that's what it was.
It
That's
was
what
a
it was.
Penthouse.
So they make it, and then they insert hardcore pornography as an additional, filler. So basically,
so to speak.
So you then have like Helen Mirren is basically in a hardcore porno.
Jesus.
Well, because they didn't like, when they hid all of the statues. I mean, they believed in Hellenism, the Romans did. So, and that means they believed in the body. So they put everything. They got statues of penises that they had. Yes, they had lots of penis statues.
And meanwhile, we're stuck with the Washington Monument.
Yes, we are.
Right. Well, actually, I was at this one comedy club in Atlanta called the Laughing Skull, and they've got a big old penis statue. Like, it's just the penis. It's just a big, like, 3-foot tall penis.
Lovely.
That's a thing. So
Do you rub it before you go on stage? Is that the tradition?
I took some selfies with it. I sent them to my mother just to scare her.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, Donald Trump.
Yeah, speaking of huge dicks.
He's trying to get back, he's trying to get off that subject. Anyway, back to Donald Trump.
Well, so this week the G19 is wrapping up. Started the week as the G20. But did you guys see this is just a great photo of Trump sitting at the desk all alone while all the other ministers and world leaders are around him talking to each other. My guess is that must be the part when they broke off into groups to talk about why Podesta wouldn't turn over the DNC server.
Yes,
that's what they were doing.
Trump
didn't need to talk about it because he already knows. Because he knows things.
Yes, right before that there was the what looks like a snub, but really wasn't much of one, which was the president of Poland's wife,
the first lady of Poland.
Yeah, and you can, if you watch the whole video, you know, she was clearly going to shake Melania's hand while he was shaking her husband's hand, and then Trump goes for the handshake, and she walks right past him to shake Melania. Then she apparently did shake Trump's hand, and so, of course, you know, liberal media had a lot of fun with it. And then the conservative media got a hold of it and decided that the liberal media was lying about it all. And he did, in fact, shake her hand. It's like, nobody cares. It's just pretty funny to watch her snub him.
Right.
Yeah,
even if it's by accident.
If someone hasn't already, I'm sure by the end of, by Sunday, that scene will be on YouTube, scored with the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
I wonder if Trump sitting by himself while the rest of the guys are all talking. I wonder if really what that is he's just on his phone tweeting. Like, they're all adults, and he's the one who's like a 13-year-old kid who's like, "Yeah, Mom, I'll be right there." Gosh. Like, that's probably what's really happening. Like, not as much of a snub so much as he's just a child.
Well, coming up with insults for Angela Merkel, but I think it is very symbolic of what he is doing to America on the global scene. This G20 conference, we have pretty much been supplanted as leaders of the free world thanks to Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, this is what they wanted. They hate globalism. So a lot of what Hillary Clinton stood for is like open markets, free markets. And I mean, I personally am a globalist. I'll wear that flag. I'll wear that label gladly. Because when there's a lot of trade, you can bring down costs of things. Everybody benefits, in my opinion, right? But
rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
As they say, cliches become cliches because kind of, there's at least a kernel of truth in that.
And so when you say they, you mean the Trump administration?
Yeah, the Trump administration and all of his supporters, all of them, they're very anti-globalism, largely because they're in manufacturing, right? And they need those unions, they need those manufacturing jobs back. And so as long as the manufacturing jobs are going to where they're cheapest, and that's here.
I honestly, I do have to take issue with that. That's what they say. And they are in manufacturing, but if that was truly their aim and why they were supporting Trump, why would they support a guy who had every opportunity to make his many branded products right here in the USA, but didn't?
It's so obvious.
Globalization actually hurt a lot of things because you cheapened, even though you say you want the product to be cheaper, but the jobs left. You see, there's a trade-off. The jobs went to, now you're talking to some person in India when you want to talk to some person here, and you can barely understand them because everybody is outsourcing.